Hello everyone, I'm Chetna Sharma and I'm Assistant Professor of Law, and I'm running a series of Specific Relief Act, and I'm back again with another video of my series. In last video we discussed the section 1 of Specific Relief Act. Now we were discussing the part 1. In part 1 there are 4 sections, section 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have already discussed section 1. Now we are in section 2. Section 2 is definition clause, and it provides definitions. Why there is a need of definition? Because to make a general term to be a specific one. Alright, general, what does it mean? That a word that has a general meaning in law, we specify that meaning and we will only refer that meaning. So let's get started. The first definition is of obligation. Alright, now what does that obligation actually mean? So if we say in general language, obligation is a duty, it can be moral, it can be legal in general terms. But when we talk about the Specific Relief Act, Specific Relief Act has a specific definition of obligation. Now what does that mean? Obligation includes every duty enforceable by law. So definition is also of two types. One is inclusive and the other one is definitive. What does that mean? That any definition which defines something, that is definitive definition, but it includes, whenever you see the word includes, that apart from other thing, it also includes every obligation or every duty enforceable by law. Okay, so the definition which is provided under Specific Relief Act is obligation includes every duty enforceable by law. Now what is that duty enforceable by law? Any duty for which law can compel you to perform that duty, that means the duty is enforceable by law. Enforceable by law means court can take action against you for the enforcement of that particular thing. Alright, so here a case of Municipal Corporation Chandigarh versus Shanti Kunj Investment Private Limited. In this case, this is a judgment of Supreme Court. In this judgment, Supreme Court held that where there is no specific promise on the part of administration or administrative authorities, that what obligation? That providing of facilities shall be condition precedent. Okay? There shall be no obligation. If there is no such condition that the administrative authority shall provide some facilities or amenities before imposing any obligation on general public, if there is no such condition precedent, then there is no duty or no obligation which is enforceable by law against administrative authority. So we all know when there is a obligation or there is a duty of administrative authority and they didn't perform their duty, what remedy we have? We have a writ remedy, especially the mandamus against the public authority. So here, where there is no obligation, there is no ground arise for the mandamus. Alright? Generally, we go through a writ remedy against the administrative action, but here the Supreme Court held that where there is no specific promise, on the part of administration that providing of facilities shall be the condition precedent. There is nothing like that, then you cannot enforce. You cannot say there is an obligation against the administrative authority to enforce any duty that is enforceable by law. So here Supreme Court clarified that you cannot take action against administration or any person where there is no obligation. This is a negative sense. Okay, there is no obligation and there is no condition precedent, then there is no question of obligation being enforceable by law against the administrative authority, and we cannot go for the writ of mandamus. Alright, so this is what the obligation defined. Now we will move to the second definition in the definition clauses of settlement. Now what does that settlement means? Settlement means, here you see the word means. That is, definition is defining or providing a meaning of settlement. In the very first meaning, we saw the word that is includes. Here we the word that is used is means. That is defining what is instrument. So settlement means an instrument. Now what does that instrument means? Instrument is defined under Indian Succession Act 1925. Here the instrument means same meaning that is defining Indian Succession Act 1925. We need not to refer the Indian Succession Act 1925. In general term, I let you know that what is the instrument mean. Instrument means any document through which any right has been transferred or any duty has been imposed, or the instrument is a written document, we can say, with certain conditions. Alright, conditions can be related to so many things. So instrument means a document that contains conditions. So for settlement, what does that settlement means? Settlement means an instrument. Now as I talk about the conditions, so the settlement means the condition, the instrument that is having conditions relating to what? The destination or the devolution. Now what does destination and what does devolution means? When through a settlement an instrument is created for the purpose of destination and devolution of successive interest in any movable or immovable property that is disposed of or agreed to be disposed of. Alright, now let's make it little simple. Settlement is simply a written document or is a instrument, the instrument that consists the condition of destination. Now what does destination means? Destination means when any property or any right is finally imposed to a person or finally reached to a person and it will not move further, the final destination. Alright, so that means the final end. This is destination. Destination is final end. Means any property which will be transferred or which will be of which the settlement has been made will reach to that person finally. Alright, and what does that devolution means? Devolution means the interest on that property will devolve to that person and then there is a chance to move forward to some other. So this is devolution, that any right is devolving me to the till I exist or during my lifetime, and when I die that right will move to some other person. Alright, as example, so many examples we have seen in transfer of property. Alright, so the destination is final end and the devolution is meanwhile during a lifetime or during a particular period of time the interest will devolve in a person and after his or her death, the interest will be transferred to someone else. So this is the devolution actually means. Now, what the settlement? Settlement means an instrument through which a destination or devolution of any successive interest. Successive interest means the interest which have to become, alright, or the coming interest. So the successive interest in what? Interest in movable property or immovable property. Basically, in settlement, we are talking about the property, whether it can be movable or whether it can be immovable. Now, what we will do with such settlement? The final object of settlement is to dispose of any successive interest or the agreed to be disposed of any successive interest. Are you getting my point? Let me understand with this example. I am writing an instrument that this is my property and this property will transfer to B. For example, there is a person B. I make an instrument that this is my property. You have to check it whether the essentials have been completed or not. Okay? So, I am writing an instrument. Check instrument in which I am either fixing a destination that it will finally vested to A, that is destination, or this property will be given to A for his lifetime and after his death this will be transferred to B. Then what I am doing, I am making a devolution of right for a time being to A, and after his death the property will accelerate to B. Alright, so I have fixed through the instrument the destination or the devolution, alright, of a successive interest in favor of A and in favor of B, whatever the case may be. Okay, so I am creating a successive interest in any movable or immovable property. So this is movable property. Okay, what I am doing with that instrument, I am finally disposing of or agreed to be disposed of. Okay, either I can dispose of or I can agree to be disposed of in future, that after my death this property will transfer to A or B, or right now I am doing that with the effect of this instrument I am transferring. So this is disposed of and agreed to be disposed of. So I hope the meaning of settlement is clear to all of you. Settlement is an instrument basically which either creates a destination or devolution of any successive interest in any movable or immovable property that is finally disposed of or agreed to be disposed of. Now we will move to the next definition of this section. The next definition is of trust. Alright, so what does that trust means? So here in Specific Relief Act, trust is defined as the trust has the same meaning as in section 3 of Indian Trust Act 1882. Alright, it has the same meaning as the Indian Trust Act 1882 has consist and includes an obligation in the nature of trust within the meaning of chapter 9 of that act. Alright. 3 of the Trust Act. Alright, and the second thing is it includes an obligation in the nature of trust defined under chapter 9 of that act. Alright, so it includes the definition of trust that has been defined under section 3 of the Indian Trust Act, and also includes an obligation that is obligation in the nature of trust that is defined in chapter 9 of that act, means Indian Trust Act. Okay, so there is no such thing which we need to understand. This is simple and clear. Alright, so this is the definition of trust. Now we are moving towards the next definition. The next definition is of trustee. Alright, now what does that trustee means? Trustee includes every person that is holding property in trust. This is as simple. Trustee means a person that is holding any property in trust. Alright, so this is also simple, that any person that is holding any property on the behalf of trust, so he is trustee. So this is 2D is trustee, and 2E talks about the this is a general term, that is all other words and expressions apart from the obligation, the settlement, the trust and the trustee. Apart from these 4 terms, all other words and terms that has been used in the Specific Relief Act and not defined in Specific Relief Act but defined in Contract Act shall have the same meaning that specified in section 2 of Indian Contract Act. Meaning, we'll have referred to the definition clause of Specific Relief Act as well as the definition clause of Contract Act. Okay, so any term which is not defined in Specific Relief Act definition clause but defined in Contract Act, then we have to refer that definition. That is like agreement, and that in the very first definition we discussed the agreement that is enforceable by law. So any term which is not defined here in Specific Relief Act but that has been defined in the Contract Act shall have the same meaning in Specific Relief Act also, because the Specific Relief Act is read as a part of the Contract Act. Alright, so this is all about the definition clause of the Specific Relief Act. Now from the next section we will discuss in our next class. Hope these definitions are clear to you and you are now very well acquainted with all of these definitions, because definition plays an important role while reading whole of the act. Alright, so if you find it useful, please do like my video, share it and subscribe my channel. And one more thing I want to discuss, that most of the people messaged me that what are you referring while teaching us the Specific Relief Act. So I want to mention that the first thing that is important is the BEAR Act. Alright, this is not an endorsed video of Puja Law House, but this is the BEAR Act that I have referred. and this is the Barrett for the Umbrella House publication, and the other book that I refer is the Contract 1, Specific Relief Act is inclusive in it, and this is the book of Dr. S.K. Kapoor. So this is the book that I am referring while teaching you the videos, and the next, that is Contract and Specific Relief by Avtar Singh. So these are the two books that I am referring while making these videos, and I hope elaborating things very well that you can easily understand. But I request to please sit with your bare head, so that when I emphasize on particular points, you will underline those points in your bare head. So it will be easy for you to, whenever you want to revision, then the particular word or particular thing that I will emphasize, that will be eye-catching point for you, and that will be important for you also. So please sit with your bare head. It would be very useful for you, and this is all about today's video, and do like, share and subscribe my channel, and have a good